Hello, Delhi. I'm so excited to be here. Today we're speaking on this stage about how to become an open source contributor. Please welcome Nikhita.
Hey everyone, I am Nikhita. I am a software engineer at Loodse. I'm also a Kubernetes upstream contributor and a member of the Kubernetes steering committee.
And my name is Ihor Dvoretskyi. I'm a developer advocate at the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. And we have multiple programs within the Cloud Native ecosystem, within the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. How can you get started as an open source contributor? How can you start diving into this ecosystem? And what are the best ways and the possible ways how can you do it? So first of all, please get started with checking out our contribution guides. They are public, they are all listed on GitHub. They are even open source, so if you'll find something that you'd like to fix there, or if you'd like to contribute something else there, you can do it there as well. And all the basic information about how can you get started with contributing to the CNCF projects, or how can you start with your meetup groups or anything else is listed there. I'd like to mention that we have around 15 meetup groups in India. They are spread around the whole Indian subcontinent. And if you are based in New Delhi, or if you are based in any other major city in India, you'll easily find the appropriate meetup group for you. So attending the meetup, speaking at the meetups is there. Probably one of the best opportunities for the person to get started as open source contributor, with sharing your knowledge, with getting the knowledge from other folks from the community, and also sharing that with the wider world. Besides the CNCF meetups, we also have the ambassadors program, and we also have the numerous folks in India. India is one of the is in top 3 countries where we have the maximum number of ambassadors, which is so exciting. We have so many amazing ambassadors in India. And again, if you are looking for some guidance on how can you get started being a contributor, what are the best ways to do it, how can you share your knowledge with the wider world, you can also work with our ambassadors. Ambassadors are the people who are well recognized by the community. They are the active meetup organizers. They share their knowledge with the wider world in the form of writing blog posts, creating the presentations, and so on. So please check the list of the CNCF ambassadors. Please check the list of CNCF ambassadors in India, and try to find a few folks who can help you with your journey. But probably one of the most exciting things that we have established at the Cloud Native Computing Foundation that could extremely benefit the whole ecosystem is that we also help driving some mentorship programs. This year we are driving 3 of them. We are helping driving 3 of them. This is the Google Summer of Code, which is the well-known community-focused program for the mentors and mentees. If you are the person who would like to start contributing to any of the CNCF projects, for example, to Kubernetes, you can start looking at Google Summer of Code as a good opportunity to do it. Google Summer of Code, the upcoming round of the Google Summer of Code is about to start in the next few weeks, so please stay tuned and check for our announcements. We also have the Community Bridge program, which is the in-house program by the Linux Foundation itself. Compared to the Google Summer of Code, it's also flexible enough. So we're working with the CNCF projects. We're working with the contributors from the global community, and we're working with people who'd like to get started contributing there. And Community Bridge is one of the most amazing opportunities for many of us to get started with contributing to the open source world. And we also have the good relationship with Outreachy, which is yet another mentorship program, which is focused on the diversity aspects of their open source contributions. Now I'd like to pass the ball to Nikhita, who is also one of our most successful examples of being a Google Summer of Code mentee a few years ago. Now she is a steering committee member of the Kubernetes project and an active contributor to the various angles of the CNCF ecosystem.
So let's dive into the Kubernetes community and see how the project works. The Kubernetes upstream project is divided into multiple groups. The most common one that you might have heard up until now in this whole conference is SIGs. SIGs stand for Special Interest Groups. So you might have heard of SIGs like SIG CLI that takes care of kubectl, or SIG testing, SIG release, SIG auth. There are so many of them. We also have groups called working groups that are temporary groups for cross-SIG work. There are user groups which are focused towards users, and there are committees which deal with sensitive items. So you can take your pick and contribute to whichever SIG or SIGs you want to. All such groups and all these SIGs have communication channels like mailing lists and Slack channels where you can interact and ask questions to maintainers. All of them have public meetings which are published on YouTube, and if you don't want to watch lengthy videos, they also have meeting notes that you can quickly go through. We have a bunch of India-specific Slack channels on the Kubernetes Slack. We have almost 560 of them the last I checked. We hang out a lot on the Slack instance. You can ask any questions you want to. No question is stupid. Anyone and everyone is welcome. So please join these channels. After you join them, drop a note, say hi, introduce yourself, and we can all increase the number of contributors from India. The in-depth channel is for contributors who are interested in Kubernetes. In users is for users of Kubernetes. In events is for events like this one happening in India. And the in-events channel is also used to solicit speakers and CFPs, so keep an eye on it. If you're not already on the Kubernetes Slack, you can get an invite at slack.k8s.io. Again, slack.k8s.io. So please make it a point to join these channels. So if you want to contribute code to the Kubernetes codebase, you need to first understand how the codebase is structured. At github.com/kubernetes/community, we have detailed developer guides and contributor guides. Contributor guides has details about how the community works and how the workflow that we use. And the developer guide has information about how you can set up the development environment, what is the release process, what are the API conventions, and so on. We also have tons of code-based tours on YouTube. So if you prefer a video-like format, you can also see that. To find an issue that you want to contribute to, we use two labels. The one is good first issue and the other is help wanted. If you're a complete first timer to the community, look for issues that are tagged good first issue. Once you've solved 2 or 3 good first issues, look for issues that are tagged help wanted, which are a little higher in difficulty compared to the good first issue ones. You can also help out with issue triage. Issue triage is making sure that all issues have the right labels, that someone is paying attention to them, that we have a bot that auto-closes issues if there's no activity within a certain number of days. So make sure like that doesn't happen, the priorities are set. It takes comparatively lesser time for issue triage than maybe contributing code. So if this is something that you can start out with, and it can also help you become more familiar with the community and how everything is structured. But contributions are not always about code. So you can also help out with project management, running contributor events, or moderation of a Slack instance or YouTube. If you are interested in dedicated mentoring, we also have programs for it. The release team is an excellent model for mentorship. We found that release after release. So the release team has roles with role handbooks defining what is required and what are the responsibilities for each role. Each role has lead, who is the mentor, and many mentees who are called the shadows. And after maybe 1 or 2 releases, you could also become the lead yourself. You start out as a shadow and then you eventually become a lead. We also have many folks here who were or are members of the Kubernetes release team. So you start out as a non-member contributor and then eventually grow up the contributor ladder. You will become a member of the Kubernetes GitHub organization. Then you'll become a reviewer where you'll be reviewing PRs. Then you'll become an approver where you get to sign off on changes and PRs. And then eventually an owner where you'll basically be owning sub-projects and providing technical leadership to the project. So I hope you'll join us upstream. We definitely need lots of folks, and we should increase the number of contributors from India. And I hope you all also contribute to other CNCF projects as well. So Ihor, would you like to say a few last words?
Yes, so please join us. Thank you for joining us today, and please join us at the Cloud Native Computing community. We need more people, and we'd like to have you all on board. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.